You know how math sometimes feels, I don't know, kind of trapped in a textbook? Well, what if I told you it comes alive in the most amazing places, like a kid's game? Today, we're going to tackle fractions and see how to make them finally click.
So, how do you explain half to a kid? I mean, it's a question that trips up a lot of us, right? You've got this abstract idea of one half, and you have to make it real for them. It's a huge challenge, but the answer? Well, it's actually way more intuitive than you might think.
To see how this actually works, we're going to do something pretty cool. We're going to step into a real live learning session. We'll get to watch a facilitator named Sobia guide a little girl, Ima, through this exact problem. And get this, it's not happening in some stuffy classroom. It's all happening right in the middle of playtime. All right, let's dive in. Picture this. Ima is playing shopkeeper and she's taking a lunch order. The learning isn't on some boring worksheet. It's part of a world she's already created and totally gets. Okay, so here's the order that comes in. 2 roti? No problem. 3 bowls of yogurt? Easy peasy. The whole numbers are a piece of cake for Ima. But then she hits a total roadblock. The order calls for 1/2 of a paratha. And you can just see the confusion. What on earth is 1/2? Now, this is what I think is absolutely brilliant about the facilitator's approach. Sobia doesn't just jump in and focus on the problem. No, she starts with what Ima can do. She builds on her strengths, on the things she already understands. And you can see it right here. Ima just confidently gets to work on the parts of the order she gets. 2 rotis? Check. 3 bowls? Done. And this is so important. It's not just busy work. It's about building this foundation of success, of confidence, before they tackle the tricky part. But that brings us right back to the core of the problem, doesn't it? That little symbol, 1/2. To her, it's just squiggles on a page. It doesn't mean anything in her world. At least, not yet. And this, right here, is where the real magic of facilitation kicks in. Okay, let's get into the good part. This is where the real learning happens. See, instead of just telling Ima the answer, Sobia guides her to discover it all by herself. And that's the huge difference, isn't it? It's the difference between just memorizing a rule and actually truly getting it. And this just shows the process perfectly. Sobia gets Ima to take 1 whole paratha, a real physical thing she can touch. Then she helps her divide it into 2 equal parts. And boom! All of a sudden, Ima can see it, she can hold it, she understands what 1/2 is. That abstract symbol from the paper is now something real, right there in her hands. And that's the crucial point, you see. After she's had this hands-on, real-world experience, the official definition suddenly makes perfect sense. A fraction is a part of a whole. Of course it is. The experience came first, and the formal math rule came second, not the other way around. Hey, if this whole approach is connecting with you, if this makes sense, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us bring you more stuff just like this. Okay, so now let's zoom out a little bit. Right, let's move on. Because what we're talking about here, it's really not just about fractions, is it? It's about a much, much bigger idea. It's about a whole philosophy of how we learn things best. So what we just saw was the incredible power of what we call facilitated learning versus just, old school memorization. Instead of someone just telling her a rule to remember, Ima was guided to figure it out for herself in a world that already made sense to her. And that is the kind of lesson that really, truly sticks. And really, this is the core idea. Think about it. We use these complex ideas in our daily lives all the time, way before we ever learn the fancy math terms for them. The best kind of learning connects those new abstract ideas to the world we already know. That context, well, it's everything. So this method isn't just some nice theory, right? It's a real practical approach. And if you're sitting there thinking, wow, how can I apply this? Well, let's talk about what the next step could be. And it's so important to remember this. What you just saw, that wasn't some scripted play. It was a real, genuine glimpse into an actual learning session. That was a real aha moment of discovery, all facilitated by Sobia. Which kind of brings up a big question, especially for parents out there. Are you interested in this kind of real, down-to-earth education for your own kids? Is it maybe time to move past just memorizing rules and formulas? So for anyone out there who's struggling with these kinds of issues, or if you're just interested in this type of real education and want to learn more, you can actually get in touch. Here's how you can learn more from Sobia, or even register. The details are right there. And of course, a huge thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It means a lot. All right, I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Think about your day today. What's one complex idea? Like figuring out the timing for dinner, or splitting a check with friends, or changing a recipe. What's something you do all the time without ever once thinking about the math behind it? I bet if you really think about it, the answer will surprise you. Thanks for joining me.